Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Kilpatrick, the Executive Director for the Journey Museum and Learning Center. Thank you for joining us as we reinvent ourselves here at the Journey Museum and Learning Center. What we're going to see in this program today is what would normally be a huge celebration inside of our museum, a grand opening for an exhibit. We would normally hope to have 100 of you join us right here in our museum and see an exhibit, meet the artists, meet the people who helped bring it together, and do all of this one-on-one. All of our lives have changed, hasn't it? So now we want to start a new tradition. We want to be able to reinvent ourselves and still be able to have all of you enjoy the Journey Museum and Learning Center, get to understand and hear an educational message about the exhibit efforts that we have going on here. You're about to see two exhibits combined into one, presented by our artist, Mr. Jerry Fogg, and our curator, Mr. Connor McMahon, from the Department of Interior and the Indian Arts and Crafts Board. They are going to talk in great details of the exhibit that's at the museum. We would have loved to have had all of you here together. We are still open on a limited basis, and so you can still come and join us. But for today's program, we're going to be able to just give you that personal touch while you're sitting at home in a safe place to see this great exhibit. So now I'd like to turn this over as we reinvent ourselves to both Connor McMahon, our partner here at the Journey Museum and Learning Center, and Mr. Jerry Fogg, our artist that we are so fortunate is willing to provide us with not only just one exhibit, but two great exhibits, 11 Degrees of Tatanka, Native Soul. So thank you for joining us tonight. Share this with all your friends. We want to get the word out. The Journey Museum and Learning Center is figuring out somehow, some way for us to continue to be able to be here in 2020.
Hello, I'm Connor McMahon, the Chief Curator for the Indian Arts and Crafts Board with the U.S. Department of the Interior. The Indian Arts and Crafts Board was created in 1935, and our mission is to promote economic development and opportunities for American Indian and Alaskan Native artists and craftspeople. I'm excited that you can join us here today as we present Jerry Fogg's exhibits, 11 Degrees of Tatanka and Native Soul. Jerry is an incredibly talented artist, and we're fortunate to be hosting his work here at the Journey Museum and Learning Center. We wish you could all be here to join us today in this amazing event, but since you can't, we've created this special video program. Jerry will be sharing many of the pieces in this exhibit with us, explaining the stories behind them. And since the museum is open, I'd invite you to come see the exhibit in person if you have the opportunity soon. This exhibit is also unique because it's part of the Indian Arts and Crafts Board Special Exhibition Program for Contemporary Artists. For over 50 years, we've been presenting contemporary Native American artists at our three museums: the Sioux Indian Museum here in Rapid City, the Southern Plains Indian Museum in Anadarko, Oklahoma, and the Museum of the Plains Indian in Browning, Montana. The very first exhibit was here in Rapid City in 1969 and featured Oscar Howe. Now, over 50 years later, we've presented over 250 artists, and we're honored to add Jerry Fogg to the list that includes famous artists like Oscar Howe, Arthur Amiot, Robert Penn, and Donald Montello.